Everyone forgives my brother after he assaulted me, and I don't know who I'm mad at. When I, 18F, was about 10, my brother, 20M, was 13 and started sexually assaulting me. Nothing awful, but enough for me, someone new to what sex is, to say, hey, this is weird. He told me it wasn't, and continued until the next day when he told me it was weird and he was doing it because he was attracted to me. I cried, and honestly don't remember anything from the years in between, other than fear, until it stopped and I realized there was a name for what happened. Then I stayed silent to anyone but myself and 2 close friends for about 2 or 3 more years. A little after my mom found porn on his phone that I guess made her feel weird, my dad thought it was fine and kinda bonded over doing guy stuff, and she told me if anything ever happened to me to tell her. I was silent and she asked if something did and I started crying. Later she confronted him and told me how angry she was, and I thought I was finally gonna get him out of my life. Then we had a family talk. He looked at me in the face and said he didn't do it, and I screamed at him until he admitted it. When we all left the room, he went to the bathroom for an oddly long time. He's tried to kill himself before, so I knew what he was doing. Then we found out he called 911 on himself, and he went to a hospital for a few weeks. My mom told me he wouldn't get off guilt-free that easy, but obviously he did. My parents let him stay in our house well past after he could move out, and continued to baby him. If I ever expressed any hate towards him or disagreed when my mom went on about what a great kid he is, I was bombarded with questions about why I don't like him. I thought it was self-explanatory. He's kind of a leech. He'll tell his friends how emotionally abusive my mom is, but when he needs my parents' house, we moved and he had to stay in our old town for college, he goes there and is isolated the whole time. And every time my mom is shocked and surprised when he's not the nicest to her. My older brother, 31M, is someone I trust most in this world, but he told me he was going to try and bond with him. I gave him a look and he said, I know it's hard for you, but he's my brother. I understand that, he's my brother too, but he also assaulted me, and I don't care about any relationships he has and what you're doing with them. I don't know if this is normal. I know he's their family and he didn't hurt them directly, but it hurts me to be so buddy-buddy with him every time he's mentioned. Every time he's around, my mental health sharply declines even if I've been doing perfect for a while. Should I have to keep telling them what he did? Or is it just something they'll never understand? Edit. I don't think anyone will actually see this, but for the comments I got, thank you so much. I couldn't really ask my boyfriend because I know he hates him and would say of course my family is shitty for this, but I wasn't sure. Thank you guys for not making me feel like I'm overreacting. TBH, since you're 18, I would move out and not look back. They take you for granted and let the toxic behavior continue. What the flying fuck? Your family are incredibly fucktards for supporting someone who sexually assaulted you. Please, this is not an overreaction. You need to cut these people out of your life. They're supporting someone who violated you. I'm so sorry this happened to you, but your family sound very disrespectful and toxic. I think you need to move away and cut contact. What happened to you was a serious thing and your brother sounds dangerous. If he did this to you, he could one day develop to other more dangerous behavior with a girlfriend or anyone. I think you need to get out. I'm so sorry. I know how scary that is. Do you have any other family you trust who you can reach out to? I wish you all the best of luck. 2 things. First, it doesn't matter if they forgive him. Because he didn't do anything to them. You are the one that can forgive him and it's perfectly fine if you choose not to. Second, your family chose him over you, even though he sexually assaulted you. This sadly happens more often than one might imagine. You can give each of your family members an ultimatum, once you have the chance to move out, to either be on your side or on his. There is no in between. You should ask them if they want to support their daughter or the person that sexually assaulted her. If they choose him, don't look back. And find better people to be around. You don't have to love, like or even tolerate family. I'd be gone in a flash. Your family is shitty, and I am sorry they do not value you. They do not value you because they are defective, not because you are worthless. I repeat, there is something wrong with them, not you. This not normal or okay. If they chose to believe you or take your side, they would feel guilty that you were molested. If your brother kills himself, they will feel guilty. They are just trying to avoid the feelings of guilt and responsibility of raising a suicidal child molester and knowing what shitty parents they really are. We see this. You're not alone. It doesn't matter if a piece of shit is your family member. You don't claim them. You get rid of them. Especially if that piece of shit hurt another family member of yours. Your family is full of assholes and others pos, though I know it's hard to see them as such. I'm sorry. Do you have a way to get away from them? Your family is disgusting. I really encourage you to get help and also seek out legal counsel. My uncle sexually assaulted my cousin for years and the family forgave him. Her father forgave him and is a drinking buddy. People don't want to keep hating on someone who didn't do anything bad for them. They could empathize with you, but they prefer to live in a perfect world where there is no problem. I think you should cut your contact with the family to the minimum. I did it and it did wonders for my mental health. And try to arrange that you're never in any events with him. Sexual assault is a big deal. Get the fuck away from these people who have done nothing to protect you. They do not care about you. If he were to rape you again tomorrow, they would do nothing. Save yourself and leave and cut off these toxic assholes. Please get into some kind of therapy. You are missing sections of time of when your brother was assaulting you. Please get help before it's too late. I am so sorry this happened to you, and that your family isn't or supportive of you. I am sure they feel like they are in a hard place and don't want to have to pick between two of their children, but in all actuality, they are. Choosing to ignore a horrific thing he did, and not get him help, is setting him up to do much worse. But making you feel like you are in the wrong for being hurt and upset that you can't just forget, is way worse. You need to start saving and move out ASAP. Get a therapist and some strong supporters in your corner, to help you heal. Family isn't only who you are born to. Family is who you choose to be close with. Friends can be your new family. Just find people who will be there for you and not defend, coddle an abuser. Press charges. It's fucked up, but I think sometimes families go into a type of denial because the truth is so hard to handle. Wow, they have dismissed your abuse. What a great family. He is your rapist. I don't care what the rest of the relationship is to you or your family. If you decide to maintain a relationship with your family, I would ask them point blank why they think it's okay to have a good relationship with your rapist. And then anytime someone discusses him with you, I would identify him as my rapist, until they get the picture. My best to you, Op. This is fake. It's the exact same story that was on here a week or two ago, even down to the ages. I don't understand why people do this. It's a throwaway account so you're not getting karma from it. My parents once told me if there was ever sexual abuse on either mine or my brother's part, they would report the offender to the police, no exceptions. They would still love us, of course, but abuse is abuse no matter what. Obviously, there is no abuse present in our home whatsoever. My family is quite loving and we all get along for the most part. But that should be enough to tell you, most normal families would not look past abuse. You're living with enablers, and you need to distance yourself. Sigh, this happened in my family. Many years ago before I was born. A bunch of people in my mother's family were molested, by my uncle. I wish I had a happy ending for you, that he was brought to justice. But to this day he's an integral part in my grandparents' lives, and everyone day to day acts like nothing happened. It wore on my mother and her siblings for years, but all we can really do now is distance ourselves. I truly hope it turns out better for you. Less than 3. You need to get away from your family. They want to paste over anything bad and pretend it never happened. You do not have to do that. There is a huge problem of people catering to the family pedophile. As someone who's been there through that, I think it's best for you to move far away, rarely visit, and only communicate via telephone, email, where you can cut off communications when it starts to cross a line. They are broken and sick and you can't fix them. But you can find people who will be family to you. I have raised my child with a community of people who always had our backs. Friends are the family you pick. The only important person who can give forgiveness is you. They're wrong for forgiving that monster. I really wish I could hug you right now. I have a similar experience, but I kinda repressed it until I was 21. Your family will always try and have a relationship with him, and it will always hurt, because they will never really get why you are angry and hurt. My advice is that you get into therapy with a good therapist ASAP. Please feel free to message me, and I will share more about how I navigate daily life, living in a house with my abuser, as well as dealing with the emotions that keep bubbling up. Just remember that you have the right to be angry. You are allowed to feel hurt. You should express your anger and hurt, and never let anyone tell you that what you feel isn't valid, because it absolutely is. Sorry this happened to you. Rushed face. Checking himself into a hospital for a few weeks sounds like he has remorse and knows what he did was wrong. Is he continuing therapy? Some abusers lie because they feel immense guilt and shame, as they should. You both were children at the time. Is it possible he was molested? This happened to a friend of mine. Turns out the way older neighbor boy was doing the same things to her brother. She later ended up being molested by the neighbor. That's when she pieced the puzzle together. I think you and your family should seek professional advice. It doesn't sound like your parents are going to choose a side. Pleading face. I could not imagine not protecting my daughter in this situation. Disappointed. Something similar happened to me too. I was physically assaulted by my cousin on multiple occasions and yet he faced no consequences nor did anyone stood up for me when I was protecting myself from him. Everyone in my family keeps pressuring me to move back in with him and they literally said to me that, he is willing to forget about the past and so should I. Got no apology or anything from the cousin either. I hope he dies a painful death along with his perpetrators. Also, move out and go VLC with your family. They will keep forgiving him which will make him think that he can do anything he wants and nothing will happen to him. Your anger is justified but sadly your family is a bunch of fools like mine and they'll keep protecting him. Keep telling them what he did to you. I can't imagine what would have happened if you were a little bit younger like 9 or 8. Shit could have gone too far. I don't have any advice but wanted to say I'm so sorry you're in this situation. Look after yourself and do what you need to do to make yourself happy. Stay safe. You'll get through this. I am so sorry that you have been betrayed by not just your brother, the entire rest of the family. You do not deserve to be treated like this. You need to talk to a counselor, they can help you navigate through this, but you are definitely not wrong for feeling betrayed. This is horrible. Please take care of yourself and good luck. I am so sorry that you experienced this. A neighbor of mine molested a child across the street from me. You'd think the response would be rage and the desire for justice, but it was more so to pretend like it didn't happen. After all these years, that still gets me so angry. Now that you're an adult, you have the responsibility to protect your own mental health. If your family wants to pretend like your own brother didn't traumatize you, you don't have to subject yourself to that. My suggestion is to go low contact with your family. Don't continue to fight them or explain your side. If they don't get it now, they never will. Have you talked to a therapist, counselor? You deserve to get help and support through this. Your family is shitty. Really shitty. Did he ever try to show his guilt and the feeling of sorry? Or he's just upset that he was caught? If he is really sorry about that and only for the reason that he was 13 at that time, he may be forgiven. If it's the latter, he is definitely a leech and it's good for you to keep him away from your life forever. My nephew abused my niece like this and we all excommunicated him when we found out. He's an adult. It really sounds like they value him so much that they overlooked the sexual assault that he committed on you. That really shows who they give a shit about. Don't forget that. Ever. Plan your relationship with those people carefully, or even better, distance yourself and work on building relationships with people that will value and support you, instead of valuing and supporting the person that hurt you. Good luck. I'm sorry you had to go through this. It hits harder when it's closer to home and the person who assaulted you is family. Once again, I'm sorry you had to go through this and I hope you can forgive him too. He sounds manipulative and I would want nothing to do with any of them. He abused you and got off scot-free. Imagine if there are grandkids involved and he starts abusing them. If anyone contacts you, tell them that until they report him, support you, then they won't be in your life. Also, check if you can report him, as the chances of him reoffending are high. My stepsister, 27, molested me, 18, and my cousin from the time I was 4 until 10. I blocked the memories out for years and she still lives with my parents. I moved out a week after I turned 18 because I was done dealing with her and my stepdad letting her get away with everything when she had no consequences for her actions. She still lives with them and my parents ask me to house sit for them and they know not to have her there when I am. They don't even acknowledge what she did and now she has a daughter. I worry for that girl. I almost never tell anyone to leave and cut them out of your life. They are simply saying twisted. I have no idea what they're thinking, but they are not helping you to heal from this, so for your sake and safety you need to be away from anyone who is going to protect your attacker. It's nothing that you did. He is the sicko who committed the actions and trying to get out of jail free by pretending to be suicidal. Even someone who wants to kill themselves doesn't want to molest their sister before that. But please get yourself away from them and get some therapy because you are definitely deserving of healing from this. Edit for punctuation. I am so sorry for what you've gone through and what you're going through now. Knowing my parents, if I had treated my sister the way your brother treated you, I'd have been beaten up, disowned and physically thrown out of our house. I wish all the best for you. Keep holding on. You should move out for the sake of your mental and emotional health. You should empower yourself too. Take up self-defense classes or something similar. I can't hear you over in our NFL salt. Just move out. God. I don't think I've ever related to something on here like I did this. I've been in a similar situation. If you ever need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out. People with the mindset, he's still family, and continue to enable or forgive an abuser aren't worth your energy or time. To them, they will always sweep it under the rug or purposely forget it no matter how much you wave the truth in their faces. My uncle and grandfather both sexually abused me when I was a toddler into middle school. I never got justice either, and I still live with the emotional and mental scars they left me with to this day. You deserve better. Make your future better for your own sake. Focus on your own mental health, and try to distance yourself from that family the moment the opportunity rises up. You'll be better for it in the end. I feel like there's another part to this story, or a different perspective, because it's kinda got a lot of holes. You need to get out and stop talking to any of these gross people. Your mother is deranged, your father is sick, and your brother is an idiot. Go to the cops and file a report about this asshole and distance yourself from the Weil family. Be mad at all of them. Why does this have an excited award? Your family is terrible. I'm your mom now. What kind of porn was he watching for your mom to ask if anything had ever happened to you? I'm so sorry for what you've been through and continue to go through. I come from a similar family. Things have happened, sexual abuse, and it's swept under the rug and we are all supposed to ignore it. Just know that your feelings are valid, you will never be overreacting. You are a victim in all of this and you are allowed to feel however. I know it's hard, but sounds like you would be best to distance yourself from your family, lean on your boyfriend or friends for support. If not, those wounds will never be able to heal. When my mom's ex died, she couldn't figure out why I didn't like him or why I didn't care to hear he died. He molested me as a teenager. It's almost like they forget it happened. I told her she shouldn't be surprised. If it's not them, they don't remember, I guess. So, I have been in a similar situation. I was 2 years younger than you were, but otherwise a similar situation. And I'm 21 now. Unfortunately, family moving on, forgetting, ignoring what happened also happened with me too. He currently lives with our mom and his daughter, and I feel like the only one who has concerns about it, but I never express them because, well, I told someone when I was a teenager. I went to therapy for a couple weeks, then everyone forgot. You're not overreacting, but you are not alone. Edit. Finished it.